Hey, from Texas. What's up, Texas? What are your thoughts on social media and how to maintain your confidence as God's child if using or when using these platforms? Good question. Let me make sure I read it again so I can kind of get my mind ready to process. What are your thoughts on social media and how to maintain your confidence as God's child if using these platforms? Let's start with the first part. It says, what are your thoughts on social media? I think social media is a great tool when utilized in the right way. I think social media has become the new way of social activity, social engagement. And I think that perverts the core human social ability that humans were not designed to only communicate, or the bulk of the communication was to be through a channel or through a electronic device. It was meant to be communal. It was meant to be around that person. It was meant to engage in that way. So I think social media, when it comes to making the world smaller and open up opportunities to entrepreneurs and business owners and broadening out the gospel. I think social media allows great opportunity, but I think with anything that's good, anything that's beneficial, anything with access comes some dangers. And I think when it comes to believers, we have to make sure that our identity is not predicated on likes, on shares, on how many likes do we have or comments. That even for me, back in the day when I used to get so caught up in social media, how well my ministry was doing online, if I posted a status maybe 4 or 5 years ago, if I posted a status and only got maybe 15 likes when usually I would get like 90, then I would be like, well, maybe that post wasn't good enough. But all actuality, that post was meant for who it was being posted for. And I began to humble myself to really understand that social media is not a tool, not a place of identity. Social media is a tool, not a place of doing the most. And so now it don't matter if it's not according to social trends the best time to post. I post when led, and my social media is ultimately for a ministry standpoint more so than identity. And I think as a believer, you have to use cautions and know how to take a break. Just like you take a break from work, just like you take a break from a lot of different things, just like there's seasons for you to kind of really step away. I think there needs to be a helpful beneficial habit that a person instills in their life to ensure that social media is not the supreme source of social. And it's crazy how people use social media to even talk to God. See, social media has warped our relational skill sets to the point to where we talk to God through social media. I see people posting prayers on their social media saying, God, I hope you do this for me. God, thank you for this. And it's like, God ain't worrying about your social media page. God is not checking your Facebook. He's not checking your Instagram. He's not checking your Twitter. He's checking your heart. And so many people are the only way I'm going to talk to God, the only way that I'm going to talk to people, or the bulk of my communication to a degree, it's going to be through some kind of interaction. That people's time with God is through what they view on social media, that they go to YouTube and that's where they get their sermons. They rather go to YouTube than their Bible. They rather talk to God online than talk to him personally. They rather talk to people through text message and all these other different avenues, instead of actually being a human being with the individual. So I think when it comes to social media, there has to be an understanding that anything beneficial, when used immaturely or improperly, could lead to danger, and that social media should be a tool specifically for whatever that God sees fit. But I think if social media is your main source of social activity, I think you're warping what makes you at the core a human. So as a person that's utilizing devices, it says, how does one maintain their confidence as God's child using these platforms? You got to understand that God's ultimate worth is not predicated on how well you post online. I think the way to build your confidence is authentically, in an authentic way that's predicated on you as a human. I love my Bible as far as paper. I love sitting and being quiet. I don't like doing biblical things through the phone because it's almost like this is not really genuine. So what I do is I love getting a pen, a pad, and getting all the way down to raw relationship when it comes to pen, paper, Bible, or face to face, or need to ground, eyes up, talking to God, pacing. I'd rather have that kind of form, because that's where my confidence is. And that will help you to, when you do post online, you're not upset about or offended if people don't really rock with what you're posting. Like at this point in my life, I don't do like back in the day, 4 or 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago. Ministry for me was all about how can I make my name great? How can I be the dopest? And social media was like an open well of opportunities. And I realized that's damaging to the mind because it's warping me into thinking of individuals as numbers, as customers versus people who need help. That's when I begin to go to worksheets. That's when I begin to go into really focusing on helping people versus utilizing these mediums as an opportunity to help myself. So you build your confidence in your relationship with God. Your confidence cannot be in likes, shares, retweets, or whatever, because there will be drastic damaging effects in your mind because now your self-esteem is wrapped in your social media. Your self-esteem should be anchored in who Jesus is. And when you do utilize social media, it's just a place for you just to get information or whatever it is that God wants you to. Hope that helps.